Welcome to From the Pilot Seat. Join me as we explore real aviation stories, lessons learned, and incredible flying machines. If you love flying or want to learn, hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.
In this day and age, we have come to rely on comfort, speed, and affordability in our modern airliners. But what did it used to be like?
The waiting is over. Tomorrow's travel technology is here now. Introducing a revolution in travel, the Super Constellation. Now you can leave your shores in this super reliable mode of transport. Forget many weeks of travel. Now you can travel halfway around the world in only 4 days. Super reliable and super comfortable. Super Constellation, the fastest way to travel.
This aircraft basically was the aircraft that most airlines around the world first introduced tourist cabin, and for allowing for the very first time the general public to have affordable intercontinental air travel. They actually had up to about 80 passengers. In service, the aircraft had speeds of around about 320, 340 knots. They actually had sleepers in the 1950s. And what have we got today? They've all gone back to putting sleepers back in the aircraft, so there's been a full circle of comforts in aeroplanes today.
So how does the Super Constellation compare with today's latest long-haul innovation? The most obvious difference is the sheer size difference. Introducing the Airbus A380, the largest airliner on the planet.
Nothing beats this aircraft. This is the best thing I've ever flown. It handles superbly and it's quite responsive. You can put it where you want it and you need it.
This massive airliner has been brought into Australia as the flagship for the Qantas long-haul fleet. Flightpath TV was awarded a special invitation to join the first Qantas passenger flight. The A380 can seat up to 525 passengers in a 3-class configuration. However, if all of the seating was made to be economy, this aircraft could cater for over 800 passengers. But then, where would be the luxuries? Qantas has focused on bringing comfort right across all passenger classes. And with a cabin that has around 50% less cabin noise than other airliners, you could be forgiven for thinking you were still on the ground. However, does the size of the aircraft cause any other problems?
Initially there were issues with the width of runways just because of the size. Because of the wingspan being 80 metres, you can see we taxi around very slowly. We have equipment on board, e-tax, which is external taxiing cameras, just to help us with positioning the airplane when we're manoeuvring around. But we have to be very conscious of the dimensions of the airplane at all times.
But how about in the air? Does the A380 use a lot of fuel?
Incredibly smart airplane, and as they're putting fuel in, the aircraft and the computers want it to fly at a particular angle with the centre of gravity in a particular spot. And so what it will do is manoeuvre the fuel around the aircraft by a series of galleries and pumps as well, in that they can move the fuel to achieve that centre of gravity. But the thing is, the fuel efficiency gain by keeping it the centre of gravity in a certain position adds up to tonnes and tonnes over the year.
And what's it like to fly?
We fly by using a side stick. It's all very instinctive. You pull back, the nose comes up and everything. With our onboard information system, we're able to pull up maps and charts as well of airports and study before we come into land. Another innovation here, as we're flying along, depending on what altitude we are, there's a little airplane symbol, and the terrain moves as well, and we can expand that out. What we get on the weather radar, we get an overview section, but we also get a vertical cut, so that we're going to be safe when we're avoiding weather.
So it looks like the A380 Airbus is luxury for both passengers and pilots.
It's great fun. It is hard work, and you sort of do have to meet requirements, but the rewards are just fantastic.
If you love flying or want to learn, hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.